A Preliminary Task, a film created by Matthew Ketley, Mandy Patwell, Sarah Sol, and Tyrese Connor, is a short film within the context of one student struggling with his examination and having a conversation about this with another student right after the examination.
In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
Despite our product having a particularly limited budget, set of equipment and production time in comparison with most real media products within the industry, we have certainly used and developed conventions from aspects of professional media within our preliminary task. The principle of continuity was at the focal point of our product, in which our main aim was to successfully create a clear sense of fluidity within our film, where we could show several perspectives of an action or dialogue and merge them together without jumps or delays between cuts, utilising the concepts of match on action, the 180-degree rule, and shots reverse shots. In order to make the use of continuity more effective, we agreed that we should use a wide range of camera shots throughout the piece. For example, at the scene in our product, where character 1, portrayed by myself, simply walks up a set of stairs, we presented the shot action with a close-up shot, a point-of-view shot, and a high-angle shot. To enable this action to flow on screen, we would film the action multiple times with multiple cameras until we had sufficient effective shots that would be played next to each other, and I therefore thought that our piece was very continuous. We also thought that playing music behind the film would also make it more effective, as this is another convention used frequently by media industries within moving image. We agreed to use a piece of music with no copyright features or royalties attached to it. We also would have to gain a composer's consent to use their work in our film if we decided to use a more contemporary song within our film. I therefore decided to compose and produce my own piece of music to be played alongside the film. I created the piece using Apple's GarageBand software and a MIDI input keyboard with the intention of building a piece around one repeated motif. The piece is rather mellow. This fits well within the film's simplistic school context and is particularly effective within the section where character 1 takes a steady walk to the common room where the second character is introduced. How does your media product represent particular social groups?
Well, our media product represents a teenage social group in a positive way, rather than the stereotypical way the older generations label teenagers. Our product is set in the common room after the characters have had an exam, and this shows the teenagers still do actually care about their school work and want to do well, rather than the stereotypical idea that teenagers just drop out of school and don't actually do anything anymore regards to academic work. The two characters do completely contrast, because character 2 is overly confident and thinks his exam went well, whereas character 1 isn't as confident and thinks he didn't do so well. However, we do stick to the stereotypical labels for ethnicity, because character 1 comes from a white British working class family and he is very confident with how his exam went, but character 2 comes from an Asian family and he is overconfident and he thinks his exam went really well. This is stereotypical because Asian people are thought to be the ones that are really clever and become higher paid jobs than just white people, and they're the ones that are pushed more to go further in life by their parents and their culture. So it's quite significant that he thought he'd done really well in his exam. Lastly, we represent gender by using 2 male characters throughout our product. This could be seen as quite sexist towards females, but on the other hand, the stereotypical idea that of male dominance and men are always competing with each other to be better than the next, we sort of go against it, because character 1 obviously, again, isn't confident with his exam, but he doesn't mind admitting it to character 2. Like, he doesn't mind, like, showing that he has a weakness and doesn't just try to exaggerate, like, how he's feeling and make it sound like it went really well just to impress his friend. What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this product?
Our preliminary task was edited on the Serif Movie Plus software. As we were fairly unfamiliar with the program and video editing itself, we learnt a lot about the different effects and methods of editing, enabling us to take our filmed footage and produce a fluid, effective moving image product. We found many YouTube videos online instructing us how to import, trim, manipulating images and sound within shots, as well as enter text with different fonts and transitions. The product's music was produced on Apple's GarageBand software. Although I'm very familiar with music production itself, this was my first experience of creating pieces with virtual and synthesized sounds, as opposed to acoustic sounds. I learned how to use more complex features of the software in order to edit notes and layer dynamics after a track has been recorded. This made the composition process a lot quicker and enabled me to make the song sound a lot more professional and consistent. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why?
The institution we have decided would best distribute our media product was Channel 4. This is because their audience matches our target audience. A too old and sophisticated audience, such as the BBC's, does not fit our target audience, as well as a too young and immature audience, such as that of Disney. Also, Channel 4 broadcast education programs such as Educating Essex. This is why we believe our product would fit in perfectly with Channel 4's broadcasting schedule.
Who would be the audience for your media product?
Well, in correlation with the institution that we decided upon, our audience is school students, mainly year 11s, year 12s and 13s. We decided upon year 11s because these were the students that would be experiencing these kind of exams latest, and year 12s and 13s because they would have been experiencing this and they would be able to relate.
How would you attract or address your audience?
Well, our audience, we attracted them using relatable content and topics that they could say, oh, I've experienced this before. And the way we addressed them was using their peers, because using their peers, they were able to understand it more and see it as more suitable.